Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Penapple and today I am doing a vegan juicer restaurant speed build. I feel like my titles are always such a mouthful. I try and be really specific with them, so that's probably why. But this is obviously a restaurant, that's what I said in the title, but I was inspired by this build a bit after I heard about the new Dine Out pack. And this entryway that I'm making first, this is sort of the first thing that I thought of doing. And then everything just went from there. This is actually one of the few builds that I sketched first before doing in The Sims. Usually I have an idea and then I just do it. I don't actually try and sketch it out on paper. Only because it's kind of hard. I'm kind of perfectionist, so I don't want to it can be hard to judge sizes, so, But one of the things I really like about this build is the half walls that I'm putting in here, because I put a wall behind it and then I put hedges in between the wall and the half wall and the full wall, and then windows behind there, and I just think it gives it a really cool look. I don't really know what that would be called, but I really like it. So yeah, that's where I end up putting the main dining area. There's also one upstairs. This place has a lot of places to eat, because there's also one outside, yeah. I later on, not in this build but in another build, I was looking to see whether I met all of the requirements for the restaurant lot, and it turns out that I had 58 out of 4 chairs. I was like, oh, for places to eat, and I was like, oh wow, okay. But yeah, this build is going to be a split level, which gave me a little bit of difficulty just because it can be a little bit tricky in The Sims to do this, but I really love how it turned out. It's in the diagonal section. Yeah, so the main inspiration for this build was I was thinking very sort of vegan, new age-ish. But I also wanted it to be pretty modern. So I was definitely going for that. And so there's a lot of greens and, it's modern and stuff. And I did envision this as a juice bar. And so that's why I put that little island down there. I was thinking that we'd have more than one bar area to get juice. And by juice, I do mean actual fruit juice, not alcoholic juice, just because this is kind of trying to be a healthy place. But yeah, I'm starting to put in the windows, and I end up going with the sort of bold striped windows from Spa Day pack, the other game pack. Yeah, and so I really, really love how that turned out. And so here I'm trying to figure out the layout, because this is kind of a weird shape. I get it down eventually, but it does take me a little bit of time between the split level and where to put the kitchen and wanting an upstairs space. It just kind of took me a little while, but it all works out in the end. So yeah, what have you guys built so far? I'd be really curious to hear. I've been looking at some of the creations on the gallery, and I've been really excited about them. They all look really cool and creative. So I'd love to hear what you guys are building. If you guys have anything that you'd like me to build, feel free to do so. I know on this build, which is up on the gallery already, my username or my origin ID is penappleYT if you want to download it, but this is already up on the gallery, and I know one person said that they were really excited that I built this because they wanted to do something like this, but they felt that they couldn't, or that they just wouldn't be able to work it out. So I was really, really pleased to be able to do that for somebody. It makes me really happy. So right here I'm putting in one of my favorite things of 28,000 favorite things, and that's this upper eating area. I thought it looked really cool, and later on I end up putting in the higher tables that you can actually have a bar stool at for this, and I really like that. You may have noticed that so far I haven't been using any of the decor or furniture or build items from from the Dine Out Game Pack, and that's because I started building this before it came out. So I get down the layout and so just the general build, a lot of the windows, and then I came back in once the game pack was released, and I replaced some of the furniture. I added in a whole bunch of decor, replaced a lot of the lighting, and I tried to fit in as much of the new stuff as I could. But for now, I'm just, figuring out where all the windows are going, and then I will be doing the landscaping. That's what it's called. That's what it's called. Yeah. So I loved having these hedges in the front of this little area, so I extended it out so I could have it on all 3 sides that aren't connected to the building, and I really liked how that turned out. I think it made it look really open. It kind of, in a way, it kind of reminds me of Olive Garden. Like, I'm not quite sure why it does, because it doesn't really look like Olive Garden, but it just kind of does. Yeah. So for this build, I imagined some very, very health conscious, eco-friendly Sims going to eat here. And so later on, I find this really cool vegetable chalkboard thing in the new Dine Out set, and so I was really excited about that. But I think this build could easily be re-envisioned as maybe more of a nightclub, or really anything you want. This is just kind of what I was going with. So yeah. Okay, so I'm about done with the layout and the placement of windows. And then I hop to recoloring it, but I didn't film that part on purpose, just because it took me a fair amount of time, and it's really just me throwing up different swatches over and over and over again. So I just left that part out, and now I'm starting to landscape, and you might be able to see here where the blue wall, blue section of the building meets the green one. There's a difference in foundation color, and so I end up covering that up with a whole bunch of rocks, and I really like that appearance. I think it gave a sort of fake waterfall look. I always really enjoyed using the rocks like that with this fountain. But yeah, here I'm doing the landscaping, and this doesn't change very much. I don't think, other than putting in some new signs saying, oh, hey, look, this is a restaurant, the landscaping didn't change. And that's because we actually didn't get any new, build plants. We got some, bi-mode plants, in little potters and whatnot, but we didn't get any build plants, no, trees or bushes or flowers or anything, which is always a little bit of a bummer. I really love having lots of different landscaping options. But yeah, I was actually surprised with some of the things we did not get. We only got 1 new window and 1 new door, or no, I think just 2 new doors. Yeah, and we also we didn't get any new countertops or cabinets or bar stools, so that surprised anybody else. I was really shocked, because it's supposed to be a pack all about dine out and eating and making kitchens and whatnot, and we didn't get any new cabinets or countertops or bars. That was really surprising to me. So the bar that I put in is one from Get Together, and I wasn't expecting to keep it in there at all, but there wasn't the option, and it looked good, so I kept it, but I was really surprised. I did try and film my first impressions, but a lot of it I kind of just spent slack-jawed and oh, hey, this is nice. I like this. So there were a couple fun moments, so I might post just a little chopped up version of it, just the highlights, but I'm not going to post the whole thing because it was kind of boring, and by the time I got to the close, I was just no, I can't do this. I can't keep up the enthusiasm necessary to be interesting at this point. But yeah, here I'm adding in landscaping to the back, and I sort of imagine this as like sort of public property, almost like not even owned by the restaurant, but something that you just see everywhere around. And I really like that I have the path that cuts through a few places, where that path isn't along a corner. That could look kind of weird, but you know, it'll work out. So here's another one of my favorite parts. I do a swimming pool that is raised up. So it's on the ground now, but that's only because I was having some like troubles with positioning the little grass things. But I will eventually raise the like fountain up on a foundation, like I think right now. And then I add these waterfall fountains, and I just love that effect. I was really, really proud of that. And then I'm adding in more landscaping. I thought that area looked kind of blank. I think I actually had the most trouble landscaping here because I didn't want it to look too uniform, but I also didn't want it to look as overgrown as the other fountain areas. So yeah, I think that ends up looking up well. If you rotate the lot, some of the fences back there will delete, which doesn't make any sense to me and annoys me, but just so you know, I was messing around with what I wanted my thumbnail to be and the angle, and that happened a lot, and I had to keep fixing it, and I was just like, oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I actually just got back to recording after like a 20-minute break, because not only was the train coming, which is always a problem because it's so loud, but apparently my apartment landlord decided that today was the day to do the landscaping, and so right underneath my window a lawnmower, or not a lawnmower, but a weed whacker and a leaf blower started up. And so I was all of a sudden competing against a train, a leaf blower, and a weed whacker, and I couldn't do it. Oh my gosh, I was so annoyed. But now I think we're good. They might be going over to the apartment complex went over, but I think it should be far enough away that it won't affect the recording. But how close they were, it was so loud. Oh my goodness. But yeah, here I'm doing the bathrooms, which also don't change very much. I think maybe the brick does on the inside. But I like the look of them. It's just kind of very, modern, I guess. But yeah, I just cut out a whole bunch of me putting down where all of the tables are going to go. Just because I do end up switching out all of the tables. All of them. I think, pretty much. I don't think I leave it in any tables, but yeah. So here I'm adding in the lights, and I wanted this to be really, really bright, so I probably used 100 of these little circular floor lights. I really enjoy them. I like making the rocks light up. I think that's a lot of fun. I don't know why. It's just my thing. But yeah, we should be getting into the part with new furniture. I'm pretty sure. But right here, I'm just doing the entryway area. And I wanted there to be a little place to sit, like you're waiting outside the restaurant for a table to open up, because this restaurant is just so popular. There's also an indoor little waiting area, but it's kind of awkwardly placed by the bathroom. But I think that kind of mimics real life. How many of you had to wait really awkwardly, in the lobby area that's really crowded for a restaurant? But yeah, so here I'm finally getting into the new stuff. So I didn't even attempt to do anything with the kitchen until the new pack came out. And so I used the sort of industrial countertops that are in the base game. Actually, you get them if you're in the culinary career, but I just used a cheat to get them. And there's one little cooking area, and I love these non-slip sort of liquid puddle-proof rugs. I absolutely love them. I think those look... No. Oh my gosh. That's a fire engine. I think we're good. Oh my gosh. I'm getting interrupted so much. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I think those rugs look really realistic, like really realistic, like you actually are like in a coffee shop or something. So I did end up changing some of the brick to that sort of new white brick that we got, not on the inside of the kitchen or I think the bathrooms, but I did for most of the interior, and I changed the white section of the exterior to be that new brick, and I thought that looked really good. I was really pleased that I got to use that. Soon I think I will be changing the tables, but right now I'm figuring out the entryway decor, and I find this really cool wall sort of LED light thing, and I just absolutely love that. Also, here I'm trying to find a place for that hostess station. I guess I didn't quite hear, but you know, I'm trying to change up some of the decor I did to incorporate as much of the new stuff as I could, and I really liked how it turned out. It pleases me greatly. But yeah, here I think I'm about to put in the tree, or maybe not. I'm trying to find a place for those shelves. Like some of the stuff, though, there's the tree, but some of the stuff it didn't really fit in with this build, so I wanted to include as much of it as I could, but I didn't just like want to throw in everything. Here I'm changing the lights. Some of them remain the same. I use the sort of like crystal like candle collection for some of the bigger tables that we got in the movie hangout stuff pack. Yeah, I'm like stuttering. But yeah, for a while I didn't think I was actually going to change the tables, because honestly I actually didn't really like most of the new tables or chairs that we got in the set, but I do end up changing them. And then here, this is one of my favorite things about the new game pack, is getting to kind of design your own logo. I think that this ended up looking really great. I was really pleased with it. I think that I'll probably get bored of it towards like in a bit, because there aren't that many options, but for now it was just really new and exciting getting to design my own logo. So that was fun. And I'm adding in all these little like salt and pepper holders, which is annoying on the exterior and on this area here, because I do end up changing some of the tables. So I was just kind of like, ugh, I had to replace them all over again, but that's fine. And I put signs like almost from every location so that you know that this is where it is. And there's that hostess station. I haven't actually played in the restaurant, so I'm not quite sure what that's for. So I hope it's okay that it's kind of there. I maybe should have like researched that a little bit more. And then here I wasn't quite sure what to put, and I put in these new cool like wall mounted light things, and then later on in the build I include them higher up on the wall, and that looks really cool. But now I'm finally replacing the tables. They're very similar to the ones I had, but I just changed them a bit. And then the two tables up against the wall over there, those end up being the high tables, just because those are so fun. I wanted to include them, and so they get their own little like bar stools. And yeah, I think the train is coming again, but I think it should be fine because I'm almost done with talking. Here's that higher up section. But yeah, I think I am just putting in the finishing touches at this point. So yeah, if there's anything that you guys would like to see me build, especially restaurant ideas, let me know and I will definitely take it into consideration. I do have 3 videos kind of like in the works right now. This is one of them, so it really will be 2 by the time you see this. But yeah, I hope that you guys really enjoyed this build. If you did, it is up on the gallery. My origin ID is penappleYT. And yeah, I have a couple more builds coming up soon, so stick around for those. If you like this one, feel free to leave me a like, a comment, or subscribe. That would really be great. And so the screenshots are coming up soon, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! first roll. Oh, looks good.